Good morning, children, and welcome back. In today's video, we are going to continue with the same chapter which we have started in our last video. That is, from history. Chapter number 11, Marathas, the protectors of the nation. We have understood the word, what is the meaning of protectors. Even we have seen in the last video that how Marathas had fight against Afghans, what was the situation in the north, and how Marathas had established their powers. The Marathas standard on Attu, Dattaji's valor, courage, bravery, and how he had fought against the Mughals. Even we have seen about Sadashiv Rao Bhause and his work for Marathas. Now in today's video, we are going to see some more points in this chapter. So let's see which all points we are going to cover in this part of the video. So we are going to study in detail about these 2 points you can see in the slide, that is the Battle of Panipat, the third Battle of Panipat that was fought between the Marathas and the Abdalis army. And the second point which we are going to cover in this video is about Peshwa Madhav Rao and his work towards the Marathas. So let's continue with the explanation part and let's see each point in detail and how the battle continued for a longer time and who had won the battle. So let's start. The Battle of Panipat. My dear children, if you remember, in the last video we have studied that how Sadashiv Rao Bhau and Vishwas Rao were sent towards north to defeat Abdali, to make him understand the powers of Marathas. So in this campaign towards north, Sadashiv Rao Bhau had captured Delhi throne, the Sultanate of Delhi. And the armies of both, that is the Marathas and Abdali's army, had came in front of each other at Panipat. So that was a position, or that was a place, location where both the enemies had confronted each other. Ultimately, on January 14th, 1761, the Marathas had opened the battle by attacking Abdali's army. That means the Marathas had took step to defeat Abdali's army, and that was at Panipat. So this was the third battle of Panipat. My dear children, if you remember, we have studied about first and second battle as well. Vishwasrao fell a victim to an enemy bullet in the battle. That means he was in front of the enemy's bullet and ultimately he need to sacrifice his life in this battle. When Sadashiv Rao Bhau had heard that Vishwas Rao had been killed brutally in the battle, ultimately he was bit afraid, but he continued the battle. He had fight against the enemies in a frenzy. He disappeared in the battle fray. That means for a particular moment of time he disappeared from the battle. By seeing this, the leaders who were helping him in this battle of Panipat got disappointed, and the Maratha soldiers lost their courage and brave. They thought that if their Sardar or their general is missing in the battle, then why we should have battle? So at that very moment, what had happened? The reserve contingents. That means the reserve contingents means the subject to chance. Means that was a particular moment when Abdali got a chance and he had tried to defeat Marathas with a fresh vigor, with the fresh courage. He thought that Marathas had lost their hope to win the battle. And this was the only chance where he can defeat all the armies easily. That means whoever the soldiers were present towards the Marathas could be defeated easily. So that was the thought in Abdali's mind. Unfortunately, Marathas were defeated in this battle. The whole generation of young Maratha warriors that were living in Maharashtra were killed in this battle, that is the third battle of Panipat. Many brave Sardars fell on the battlefield. They did not lose hope. They did not sacrifice their life easily, but they had sacrificed their life for the Maratha kingdom, so that Marathas should be there. Marathas are the ones who should be ruled in India. They should not be ruled by others. So, this was a dream of Shivaji Maharaj, self independency, and it continued in the mind, in the brain of everyone, in the heart of everyone. The Marathas believed that an outsider like Abdali is not having any right to rule over India or in any other state. The Marathas fought at Panipat with the broad perspective that India is for Indians and not for any other. That means whoever will come to India and try to rule India, that would be their enemies. So, this was the thought of Marathas, and it was the correct thought because others who were living in other countries other than India tried to rule India and tried to establish their powers in India, harassing the subjects in India. After losing the battle, Sadashivrao Bhau thought that he would explain to the people who were living towards north his viewpoint that Marathas are the ones who can rule India and who can rule towards north as well. How they had established their powers in south. In the same way, they can continue their powers towards north, helping the other local rulers who were living there, and no one else is having right to come and rule in India. So Abdali was an enemy and he was belonging to a foreign country. So he should rule in his own country rather than ruling India. But the rulers, the local rulers who were present in the north did not responded him. That was not the correct response that he got from people or the local rulers who were living in north. So, by looking his positive attitude, whose positive attitude? Sadashivrao Bhau's positive attitude. They did not help him in any of the situations. And they took a neutral attitude. That means neither they want to help to Marathas and nor Abdali. Naturally, the Marathas had to shoulder the responsibility of protecting India because now and then enemies would come and attack on India, trying to loot the wealth and return back to the country. That means it was a great loss to Indians. So, Marathas were the one in the history, that means they were the first in our Indian history to realize that India is a country that should be not ruled by enemy but should be ruled by ourselves. So it was necessary for all to lend support to the king irrespective of his religion. That means we should not bring any kind of inequality in this fight. To protect our country from enemies, all should come together and be a defender to country, to defend a country from the enemies, to protect a country from the enemy's attack. So, this was a dream of Marathas that it should be ruled by themselves. Means one should rule by himself, not by others. Do you know approximately 1,50,000 people got injured and killed in this battle of Panipat? And one of the letter had described the situation as well. Definitely, when both the parties are going to come at battlefield, one is going to win and one is going to lose the battle. But still, the soldiers who are coming from both the sides get wounded in this battle as well as in any other battle. That means it is a loss of life for many. And even this battle had proved the same thing. That means many had sacrificed their life in this battle, and many families too suffered with this battle of Panipat. Moving on to the next point is Peshwa Madhavrao. Now, who was Peshwa Madhavrao? He was the son of Peshwa Nana Sahib, and after his death, he had looked after all the work of Peshwas, that means of Marathas. He took in charge of the office. The Madhura have decided that he would keep Nizam and Hyder Ali at bay. He would not let them to come inside the borders of India. So he established his supremacy, his powers towards the north. That means his powers means the powers of Marathas. He tried to establish that towards north again. Why? Because in the third battle of Panipat, Marathas had lost the battle. And by seeing this, many decided or many thought that Marathas had weakened their power with this battle. But this was proved wrong from the side of Peshwa Madhavrao. He took in charge towards the north again and tried to make the Marathas again a stronger once. So after the defeat of Marathas at Panipat, the Nizam once again thought that as the Maratha powers are weakened, he could resume his anti-Maratha activities. And he tried to do so. He tried to capture the Maratha territories and bring them under his own control. When Nizam was capturing the Maratha territories and bringing them under the control of Nizam Shahi kingdom, that time Madhavrao defeated Nizam at Ruksha Bhavan near Paitan. Hyder Ali was Sultan at that time of Mysore. Taking the advantage of this situation of Marathas' defeat at Panipat, everyone thought that Maratha powers are no more stronger than any other. So, Hyder Ali decided that he would attack the Maratha territories and capture the territories from Karnataka and bring them under his own control. So, Marathas decided that they would defeat Hyder Ali, and this had happened. A battle was there between Marathas and Hyder Ali, and this battle took place at Moti Talab near Srirangapatnam. After getting defeat in the battle at Moti Talab, Hyder Ali decided that he would hand it over the region of north of Tungabhadra to the Marathas. Peshwa Madhavrao died in 1772 CE. This was a great loss to the Marathas. In the history of Marathas, he is described as one of the honest, hardworking, determined administrator and who had worked for the welfare of his kingdom and continued his life to spread positivity in Marathas. So his death was a great loss to the Peshwa, and this was irreparable loss to the Maratha state as well. This could not be healed because after his death, the Maratha powers again got little weakened. Here are some work described that had been done by Peshwa Madhavrao for his subjects, for the welfare of his kingdom. So, do you know Peshwa Madhavrao provided special attention towards the welfare of farmers? That means he was a keen observer and he looked after the difficulties of farmers. Not only farmers, he was having care and affection for his own subjects as well. So, he provided them with different facilities. He had dug many wells in Pune and tried to increase the water supply to the city so that agriculture should be given importance and farmers can earn their livelihood in a better way. Under his time, at a particular period of time, administrators like Nana Fadnavis and judges like Ram Shastri Prabhune emerged under his rule. Means at that period, these two great administrators were looking after the work of the kingdom. He reformed the judiciary for a better justice to the common people. That means he was the one who used to provide a proper justice, a kind justice to the people in his kingdom. He started artillery and ammunition factories so that new ammunition should be produced to fight against the enemy. So he was the one who had started this factory, the production of ammunition and artillery. He also established a mint to make coins. That means coins were being introduced in his time. So he was the one to do that. By seeing these things, we come to know that how great he was and how dedicatedly he had worked for his subjects as well as for the upliftment of Maratha kingdoms by providing them different facilities. He tried to make them understand the importance of freedom as well as to take care of themselves and provided them a better livelihood in their life. By seeing the work that is done by Peshwa Madhavrao, we come to know what all qualities he owe in himself and which spreads positivity in surrounding. So this positivity continued when he was there to look after the Marathas. He inspired many of the Marathas to look after the work of Maratha kingdom. After the death of Peshwa Madhavrao, there was a question that who would take the Peshwai? That means who would look after the work of Maratha kingdom. So, namely, Narayan Rao and Savai Madhavrao were the ones who looked after the work, but they did not live for a longer period of time. So during their time, Peshwa was in the grip of family feuds. Means conflict was there, misunderstanding was there for the position, and this continued. So Raghunath Rao, who had once raised the Maratha standard at Atok, means we have studied in this chapter only that how Maratha standard on Atok had took place. So he was the one who did that. So what he did, Raghunath Rao took a shelter and try to satisfy his greed of power under the British. That means he took help from the Britishers to establish his supremacy in Marathas. So this led to war between the Marathas and the Britishers. Why? Because the other Marathas who were there in the kingdom, they could not tolerate that. Yes, it is correct that how they can tolerate that one of them among only is their enemy. For just the powers and for the position, he had shake his hands with the Britishers who were the enemies of the Marathas. After the death of Hyder Ali in 1782 CE, his son Tipu Sultan looked after the work of Mysore and he became the Sultan of Mysore. He was very skilled person, a great warrior, a scholar and a poet. With his competence, he tried to increase the might of his kingdom. Mysore kingdom, he tried to establish its supremacy towards other parts. He established contact with French and shook the foundation of British supremacy. That means he took help from the French and tried to defeat the British kingdom, the British powers. Unfortunately, Tipu Sultan had lost his life in 1799 CE with the battle against the Britishers. So my dear children, in this part of the video, we have seen about the third battle of Panipat and the information related to the battle. How did the battle continued between the Marathas and the Abdalis army? Unfortunately, Marathas had to lose the battle. Many had sacrificed their life in this battle. Even we have seen the work about Peshwa Madhav Rao and how he had continued to continue with the supremacy of Marathas. He did not let it go down, took the responsibility on his shoulders, and tried to continue with that till the end of his life. We have seen that how Tipu Sultan had worked hard to continue the power of Mysore, but ultimately he need to sacrifice his life in the battle against Britishers. So, my dear children, here we end up with our video. The next part of the chapter will continue in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Have a good day.